Hey guys, welcome to my Compound Life. I am Jonathan. This is a channel where we build assets, we build habits, and of course we build freedom. That will be financial freedom, time freedom for you, me, and anyone else that watches my video. So, hope you guys doing well. Let me remind you, if you want the bear market to end earlier, the Bitcoin bear market to end earlier, hitting the like button now can potentially reduce it by approximately 1 to 2 months. So do that, please. And beside that, can also help me as a small content creator to get to 1,000 subscribers quickly. I'm currently at present about 724 subscribers. So yeah, just do me a favor for that. Okay, so why are you here? Why are we here? Why are you guys watching my video? Because you guys want no BS guide to building wealth that lasts through steady compounding in stocks, properties, and assets like Bitcoin. Yes, this video will be about Bitcoin that can accelerate everything when played smart. Okay, so today we're tackling a goal that could seriously move the needle for folks in my age group. Yeah, my age group. So reaching 0.2 Bitcoin before the next halving hits in about 2 years' time. So if you're over 40s, like a lot of you guys watching, right? Because looking at my profile, I can definitely see a lot of male viewers, which I'm quite proud to have a few female viewers too, right? So thanks, guys. You guys are awesome. But of course, I do know that many of you are at that age of thinking about the future, thinking about retirement. So if you're over 40, like a lot of you watching, you know the drill. Mortgages winding down, kids maybe launching into the world, healthcare costs creeping up, that old knee, right? And that nagging questions, will my savings really carry me through retirement comfortably? So, stacking to 0.2 Bitcoin isn't about getting rich overnight. It's about positioning yourself for the next big supply squeeze that history shows juices Bitcoin's value. Okay, so at today's prices, right now, Bitcoin price right now in early February 2026, Bitcoin dipped hard below 70,000. Okay, so it's about 69,000 right now. And yesterday, there was some of you were blessed enough to buy Bitcoin at 60,000, right? So obviously, that was after last year's run up, which is, Bitcoin price got up to about $126,000, guys. So 70,000, assuming Bitcoin is right now at 70,000, 0.2 Bitcoin costs roughly $13,000 to $14,000. Is that a lot? Maybe not. Maybe it is for certain viewers, but definitely achievable. Okay, so that's a meaningful commitment. But if you're already holding some or can ramp up contributions, doubling your stack, say from 0.1 Bitcoin to about 0.2 Bitcoin, maybe you heard some influencers on YouTube that encourage you guys to stack 0.1 Bitcoin. Now I'm kind of encouraging you guys to stack to 0.2 Bitcoin, guys. Right? So in the next 24 months, it is very achievable, very doable, guys, without crazy risk. Okay, so stick with me. I'll break down why the halving matters now more than ever before. Not realistic. So I actually run some realistic numbers. So share a simple, urgent, but sane plan. Talk risks and give you steps tailored for real life. Okay, so if you ever felt like you missed the boat on earlier cycles, this is your window now. So let's dive in. So first, quick refresher on halving, because they're the engine behind Bitcoin's long-term compounding power. Let me bring this up. Okay. Every 4 years or so, every 210,000 blocks, okay, the reward miners get for securing the network gets cut in half. So it's called the halving event. It's called Bitcoin halving event, right? So the last halving event, Bitcoin halving event, was sometime in April 2024, dropping its 6.25 Bitcoin down to 3.125 Bitcoin per block. The next one projected around April again. However, that will be in 2028, about 790 days away from today. Okay, so just go to Google, right? Just type in Bitcoin halving date. And then essentially you see, how long or how far are we away from the next halving date, right? So we are about 796 days away and counting down continuously, guys. When it happens, new Bitcoin entering circulation slows dramatically, guys. So supply tightens while demand from ETF institutions and everyday people keeps growing. That's where the supply shock hits. So so let's look into this. Let's not look into this. Okay, so past halving. Simply just want to show you guys past halving, right? 2000 somewhere in, actually let me go a lot earlier. Okay, last halving somewhere in 2012, and then 4 years later, not 4 years later, so 2012 halving happened, and then leading on to the 2013 boom. Okay, so halving event eventually leading on to the supply shock, and Bitcoin price goes up. Okay, move on to the 2016 low, eventually halving lead on to 2017 peak. And then in the recent halving, sometime in 2020, leading on to a double top peak at 2021. So we're in the post 2024 cycle now. Still early, and this dip we're in, it's the kind of shakeout that sets up the next leg up, right? So we're in this halving, happens somewhere here, April, right? When was the halving? So the halving, April 2020. 2020. Yeah, I'm getting lost. So anyway, we are not too far. So April 2020. April 2020, around here, right? And then followed by 2 more years of bull cycle. Anyway, so we're in the post 2024 cycle now, still early, and this dip we're in, it's kind of like the shakeout. So whatever happened yesterday, that was a shakeout. So coming back to our original questions, earlier questions, why aim for 0.2 Bitcoin specifically? I don't know. Maybe there are too much content on YouTube that kind of encourage you guys to get to 0.1 Bitcoin. I just want to be slightly unique and provocative and get you guys to think about 0.2 Bitcoin, because very likely many of you guys may already have 0.1 Bitcoin. And I just want to encourage you guys to get more. So it's ambitious, but of course, I think it's realistic. Double what many considers a strong 0.1 stack. Okay, so with lost coins and global adoption, effective supply per person is shrinking fast. Owning 0.2 puts you, I think, in a solid spot. If Bitcoin follows historical pattern and climbs to, let's say, $200,000, $500,000 per Bitcoin in the coming few years, plausible with more inflow, by the way, right? So look at how many banks are adopting or coming out with Bitcoin-related products, right? So that eventually will give you 40,000 to 100,000 plus from your holding. So just tell yourself, what can you do with that sudden windfall? For us, over 40 years of age, that's not pocket change. That's paying off remaining debt, paying off remaining mortgage, funding better healthcare, helping family, or retiring with breathing room. So let's do the math simply. No spreadsheet required. So current price around 65,000 to about 70,000 Bitcoin in the most recent pullback, right? If you're at zero, completely starting today, fresh, you need to buy at least $13,000 to about $14,000 worth over time, right? Or if you're at 0.1 Bitcoin already, double to 0.2 means adding additional $6,500 to about $7,000 worth. Not hard to achieve at all, right? So conservative projection, Bitcoin back to 150,000 by, let's say, late 2027 or early 2028. Many see this as baseline post-halving momentum. So essentially, your 0.2 Bitcoin can be about $30,000 worth, $30,000 worth, right? So from 13 to 14,000, gets you to about $30,000. However, I'm just thinking a more realistic projection mid-cycle. If Bitcoin gets to about $300,000 per Bitcoin, can easily get you to about $60,000. Okay, and longer term stretch, if adoption explodes and which it's highly plausible, by the way, Bitcoin gets to about $500,000 per coins, your small stack today can easily get you to about $100,000. So guys, that's compounding at work. Your dollar buy more sats now during the dip, and time plus scarcity does the heavy lifting for all of us. How good is that, guys? But urgency, guys. Urgent. Okay. The halving isn't tomorrow. Okay. As indicated, it's 796 days away. Okay. So I'm too bright. Let's come back here. The halving obviously isn't tomorrow, but the best time to stack is during these quiet discounted period. Discounted period like yesterday flash crash, right? Bitcoin was about 70,000. It dropped to about 60,000 bucks, right? So this is where, you guys need to look at the low to low chart, right? This is where we are going through this phase now, right? And this is where we need to stack as much as possible. Okay, so waiting until prices moon means buying less Bitcoin for your money. Why would you want to do that when you can buy more Bitcoin during the dip? 1 year worth of dip followed by 3 years worth of growth, worth of bull, right? History shows the big moves often starts 12 to 18 months before and after the halving. Okay, so look at my bright face. So this graph 0, that's the halving date, guys, right? So big moves 500 days before the halving date for Bitcoin. That's where Bitcoin bottom. That's where you need to accumulate. So this charts showcase few different cycles and the price action, the Bitcoin price for the 3 different cycles, right? So obviously you will need to make sure if you want to stack, you want to stack before the halving event, right? And then what? And then wait for the time compound, scarcity, supply shocks to kick in, because all of the Bitcoin that gets minted will be half after the halving event, of course. That's when supply shock kicks in and Bitcoin price goes up. Okay, simple, right? Simple. So, guys, it's too bright, my face. That's better. So, we've definitely got time. But consistent action now beats last minute FOMO. Okay? So you want to start to stack during the bear market. You can continue to stack. Of course, if you do daily DCA, continue to do that. But focus more to stack during the bear market. That's what I'm saying. Not financial advice. Do your own research. But at least after I've gone through 3 cycles. So we're in this cycle right now, right? I've been through this cycle. I've been through this cycle. Essentially, it's the same stack when we're in the bear market. I think the same applies for any other assets, right? You don't want to FOMO in and buy gold right now because you have a lot more downside possibility. Probability going downside is higher versus having more upside. You don't want to buy your S&P 500 right now. So if you do monthly DCA, it's fine. Just continue with whatever you do, right? But if you FOMO in right now, when the price is still rather high, lump sum in, that would be a mistake, right? So the fact that Bitcoin is kind of programmed, it's kind of like a clockwork now. And now is the time, essentially. Okay, so we've definitely got time. I know a guy, let's call him Dave. I know many guys that's by the name Dave, but this guy, it's definitely not his name. But let's just call him Dave for now. Dave, 55 years of age, teacher, nearing retirement. Good for him. He's been working all his life, teaching secondary school pupils. Good for him. So he was at about 0.08 Bitcoin after the 2024 halving dip. So he, of course, he set a goal for 0.2 by 2028. Started auto buying. That's what we all need to do. $200 to $300 extra a month on top of his regular savings, right? So through ups and downs, including this current drop, he is closing in. So for him, it's peace of mind, extra buffer for him and his wife's ongoing health requirement, health stuff, right? And maybe helping his daughter with a house deposit, right? You know, kids nowadays, they just want to move away from you guys, right? So help them out with a deposit, set them for life, right? So that's the real win. Not Lambo, not security, but not Lambo, but simply just security for yourself, for your family. I know you guys probably hate me right now because I'm teaching you guys to stack for loved ones and not for wife-changing wealth or a Lambo, right? So my Compound Life, guys, this is a very different but special channel. Remember that, okay? So now you need to plan to get there fast but smart, okay? So this information, it's now pretty time sensitive and of course, not financial advice, and we always do our own research. So you have limited Bitcoin cycles left. This accumulation window has just only or about to open up. So here's how I would do it. Baseline, commit $100 to $200 per week, or £100 to £200 per month, per week, or $400 to $800 a month, whatever fits after, you know, you pay your bills, emergency, you know, your other investment funds, etc. Right? So at 65,000 per Bitcoin, 200 per week buy gets you approximately 0.003 Bitcoin. Not a lot, I know, but certainly it all adds up over 2 years period of time. So 24 months to halving easily can hit or exceed the target of 0.2 Bitcoin. And of course, let's talk about dips. Or buy the dips, guys. When prices drop 10 to 20%, like right now, bump buys temporarily add an extra $100, $200 that month. Buy cheaper sets, lower your average cost. That's what you want to focus to do. And of course, every now and then, you may have a windfalls, tax refunds, Trump stimulus check. I think a lot of you guys will actually get that soon. I think that's close to $2,000 per person. And even if you're Chinese, like myself, very likely you will get some red packets very, very soon, right? So that's what Chinese people gives to each others during Chinese New Year. Red packets. Okay, so throw half of that at Bitcoin to speed up the accumulation. And of course, security first, hardware wallet only. No leaving it on apps or exchanges long term. Just stick them into a hardware cold wallet and keep the wallet somewhere safe in the bank's deposit box. Okay. So are there risks? Are there risks doing this? Risk of volatility for sure. Could drop more in the short term. Some say 60K or lower in this correction, right? So in my other video, I'm kind of thinking maybe we get down to about the 200 weeks moving average. That would be about 58,000. The last cycle, we actually dipped down another 20 to 30%. That can easily bring us to about $40,000 to $47,000 per Bitcoin. Okay, that's always a possibility. And by the way, I can be wrong. I'm always wrong sometimes. Okay, so bear that in mind. And of course, risk, regulations, black swan events. we also need to take into consideration of that. But at our age, we should be diversified enough already. So this 5 to 10% of portfolio max, and not really asking you to go all in, by the way. Okay, so more importantly, I think beside Bitcoin survive everything thrown at it. So I think, Bitcoin is the ultimate asset. So wrapping up, guys, reaching 0.2 Bitcoin before 2028 isn't a gamble at all. It's discipline compounding ahead of the supply shock. Okay, that supply shock will come. But you need to start at the bear market, which is now. Okay, so start or ramp up. I don't know. I don't want to give financial advice. Start or ramp up today while prices are beaten down. You've built wealth the steady way your whole life. This is just upgrading, like an extra toolkit. So if this hit home, please like the video, because your like will spread the love to someone who's still on the fence. Final questions. And do leave your thoughts in the comment section. What's your biggest barrier to stacking more Bitcoin right now? Is it due to budget, fear of dips, or something else? Just let me know, guys. Let me know. So drop it below. I reply to all viewers like I always do. So thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you next time. Bye-bye.